Welcome back. Guys, today we're about to pull back the curtain on one of the most intriguing stories unfolding in crypto right now: the real relationship between the Internet Computer Protocol, ICP, and the traditional banking world. You've probably heard countless takes on blockchains trying to replace banks or go head-to-head with financial giants, but how many of them are actually working with the banks instead? And not just any banks. We're talking about legitimate Swiss banks with deep roots in global finance. If you've ever wondered whether the internet computer is truly decentralized or if there's more to the story, buckle up, because we're about to explore hard evidence that major banks didn't just come on board recently, they may have been involved from day one. Plus, we'll dive into why this might not be the bad news you'd expect. So get ready, because by the end of this, you'll see why the internet computer's unique position might actually give it an edge no other blockchain can match, especially with AI integration and world-scale compute power. Let's get started. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a professional before making any investment decisions. First, let's remind ourselves what the internet computer even is. Many crypto fans toss around the phrase world computer, but ICP actually has the tech to back that up. Unlike typical blockchains that just record transactions, ICP wants to decentralize compute itself, so apps, smart contracts, and even entire private cloud systems can run directly on-chain, not just be stored there. If you followed cloud computing, you know how dominant Amazon AWS, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure are. ICP's mission is nothing less than to offer a decentralized alternative to that massive, centralized infrastructure. And guess what? They're already pushing the envelope in terms of raw throughput. At its peak, Solana was the fastest blockchain on the planet. Now, ICP's throughput has surpassed it. That alone is worth paying attention to. But when you add in their real-world partnerships and the way they're integrating AI natively into the chain, we're looking at something entirely different from the usual crypto hype. Now here's where things start to get really interesting. There's always been chatter about whether the big banks are secretly watching crypto, but it's rare to find concrete links between a major blockchain project and established banks. With Internet Computer, though, there's actual proof of that link. People often shrug off rumors of Citibank's interest, but then we got it directly from Dominic Williams, the founder and chief scientist at Definity, the foundation that created ICP. In one of his interviews this year, he outright said that banks are indeed planning to use the internet computer, especially a specialized layer they call Utopia, which acts like a private version of the internet computer designed for enterprise and institutional use. Why does this matter? Because for big banks and multinational corporations, privacy is everything. They want the benefits of decentralized compute, AI on-chain, and secure smart contracts, but they don't want to expose sensitive business or client data to the entire world. Utopia lets them have that, all while still leveraging the same powerful infrastructure that everyone else uses. But there's more than just Dominic's word. Let's talk about Signnum Bank, because they're a critical piece of this puzzle. Sygnum is not your average bank. They're a fully regulated Swiss bank that was one of the world's first crypto-native banks. If you dig into their own press releases, you'll see they openly claim they played a key role in launching and operating the internet computer. Let that sink in. A bank, not a hedge fund or VC, helped bring ICP to life. They weren't just passive observers, they were hands-on. Back in May 2021, Sygnum publicly announced they'd be the first bank to offer custody and banking services for ICP. They didn't stop there. They also run specialized node machines that provide computing power to the Internet Computer Network. And they sit on the Internet Computer Association's board, the group that handles ICP's governance and ecosystem support. So for anyone who says banks don't care about crypto beyond Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum, here's your counterexample: a real bank helping run the world's first truly decentralized compute platform and sticking around to keep it growing. And if you want to see this for yourself, you can literally pull up the Internet Computer's dashboard and check the list of node providers. Signnum Bank shows up as a major node operator, with dozens of nodes and multiple subnets spread across Switzerland. Why is this so important? Because these nodes don't just validate transactions, they provide the raw computing power that fuels smart contracts, AI modules, and dApps. Banks don't throw their money and infrastructure behind something unless they have a clear plan to benefit. Plus, if you know anything about Swiss finance, you know Switzerland's entire reputation revolves around privacy, stability, and serious money. So when a Swiss bank like Sygnum is this deeply integrated with a blockchain project, it's not just for fun. Now, let's rewind to ICP's rocky launch. In 2021, the price of ICP shot up to $800 and then crashed by more than 99%. Some people wrote it off as a rug pull. Many just assumed Definity would pack up and move on. But they didn't. While other projects got hollowed out, ICP kept building, quietly, methodically. And guess what? A big reason they could keep building through a brutal bear market was likely the institutional support in their corner. Think about it. If you're just a community token with no meaningful backers, a 99% price crash can be fatal. But if you've got a bank with real skin in the game, one that's actually running node infrastructure, you have the breathing room to weather the storm and come out stronger. So while everyone else was distracted with meme coins, airdrops, or FTX drama, ICP pushed ahead with cutting-edge tech, direct AI integration, smart contracts that run entirely on-chain, decentralized compute power, and now a private cloud layer tailor-made for banks and big corporations. There's also the bigger geopolitical angle to consider. Just last year, Definity and ICP were part of a blockchain summit at the Swiss Parliament, invited by the Swiss Blockchain Federation and hosted by Federal Councillor Guy Parmelin. This wasn't just a random crypto conference. This was Switzerland, effectively the world's vault for institutional money, rolling out the red carpet for ICP. And if you know Swiss banks, you know they don't move alone. They're deeply connected to other financial giants across Europe and beyond. So while Sygnum is the only bank openly linked to ICP right now, there's every reason to think other banks have their eyes on the tech too. And as more big players realize they can spin up their own Utopia instance, that interest will only grow. One thing that stands out when you compare ICP to other blockchains is how little they brag about these partnerships. In crypto, it's normal for projects to trumpet every tiny integration. Look, we're working with X. But with ICP and Definity, they tend to do things behind the scenes. That's how real banking relationships usually work. Banks prefer quiet influence, private meetings, and custom integrations that don't always get plastered on Twitter. Remember, JP Morgan's CEO once called Bitcoin a scam, even while the bank was quietly exploring blockchain settlement layers and developing their own stablecoins. So when you see Definity rolling out integrations with platforms like Taurus, which specializes in banking-grade digital asset custody, you start to see the pattern. This isn't just about hype. It's about building a compliant, bank-friendly ecosystem that can scale securely. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, AI. If you've been following tech at all, you know AI is driving the next big wave of investment. Everyone from OpenAI to Elon Musk's XAI wants a piece of it. But guess what? There's only one major blockchain that actually runs real compute-heavy AI modules on-chain, Internet Computer. Their new project, Caffeine AI, can literally write code, deploy it, and host decentralized apps automatically without relying on centralized servers. That's like having a dev team in a box, powered entirely by blockchain nodes. And guess who benefits most from robust, privacy-protected AI capabilities? Banks and Fortune 500 companies. They want to test these tools, but they also want to ensure their data stays safe. Utopia and the Internet Computer's fully on-chain architecture make that possible. When you line up ICP next to the other big-name blockchains, the difference is obvious. Other ecosystems have spent years promising major adoption, massive transaction throughput, or bold new tech that never really ships. Some big-name AI blockchains even merged last year, like Fetch.ai, Ocean Protocol, and SingularityNet. They called themselves the future of decentralized artificial superintelligence. But here we are in 2025, and they're still struggling to prove real usage. Meanwhile, ICP just quietly launched the world's first fully AI-coded, fully on-chain dApps running at blazing speeds and secured by an actual bank-run node network. That's not a roadmap dream, that's reality. And here's the kicker. Once one bank goes deep, others almost have to follow. Banks operate like an old club. Once they see another respected institution running 42 nodes on a blockchain that does real AI work, they're going to ask, what do they know that we don't? This isn't about hype. It's about serious players future-proofing their operations. And in a world where AI and compute are merging, the internet computer is one of the few blockchains with the muscle to handle both. If you're an investor, this changes everything. Sure, the coin price dropped by 99% after launch, but look at the fundamentals now. ICP has what no other blockchain does: a real working partnership with a bank, enterprise-grade AI, private cloud instances for institutions, and the fastest on-chain compute network out there. Most blockchains dream about being adopted by global finance. ICP is already there. And with the AI boom accelerating and companies desperate for secure, decentralized compute, the stage is set for a surge of real-world adoption. So what happens next? The signs are clear. More banks will start using or experimenting with Utopia. Corporations will see the benefit of deploying private compute environments on ICP. Developers will keep building AI tools that run directly on-chain, not just AI wrappers, but real decentralized compute modules. And every step of this evolution feeds right back into ICP's network effect. More nodes, more secure compute, more real usage, and more reasons for banks to stick around. To wrap this up, here's the takeaway. The internet computer is not just another blockchain promising the world. It's quietly becoming the backbone of the next generation of decentralized compute and AI. And its secret weapon is the backing of real banks like Sygnum, operating at the deepest technical levels, not just holding tokens. So next time someone tells you banks don't care about crypto, show them the ICP node map. Show them the Swiss Parliament's support. Show them the real AI integrations, the throughput stats, and the bulletproof infrastructure. And then ask, if the banks are all in, shouldn't we be paying attention too? Thanks for watching. Drop your thoughts down below. Do you think more banks will get behind the internet computer? Is this the turning point for blockchain and traditional finance finally working together? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.